Development Authority meeting this morning. We're happy to have you all here. We have, Penny is not able to join us, and David's on vacation taking care of his grandchildren, I'm sure, in Italy. But we're happy to have everyone else here, and let's start this morning with the open floor. Is there anyone who would like to speak about the Development Authority? No, okay, thank you. We're happy to have you.
And Madam Chair, if I might be recognized quickly.
Of course you may.
Just to remind the public, similar to City Council, 3 minutes are allowed for any member of the public who would like to make a comment.
This will be far less than 3 minutes. Thank you for everyone for being here. I think it's a tremendous organization we have in the VBDA here.
Thank you.
And I think Dot and everyone who's serving on the board is to be commended. I know a few of you, Mike Standing and a few of the other people here I've met at meetings. And I just want to let you know that I did go ahead and I put my application in to City Council to be a member of the VBDA. I don't know what their disposition will be, but I would very much like to serve on this board. And I hope that I could get information out to citizens, because I know a number of them are concerned about things like Rudy Loop, which is on your agenda today. And I just commend Taylor Adams for everything he's doing. Pardon me, wrong name. Taylor Adams.
Thank you.
Sorry, I commend Taylor Adams for everything he's doing to make the VBDA more transparent
Thank you.
and to put the agenda online. And it will be great if going forward more things like the VBDA can put the packet or information like that, like City Council does. So
Thank you,
I just
Rona.
appreciate your time.
Well, I
and
appreciate you coming, and we try our best.
I thank you.
We're happy to have you. Does anyone else like to speak? No? Okay. Our annual meeting, Mr. Strange, Mr. Mueller, would you please,
Yes, we would like to recommend to the board the following people. For treasurer, we would like to have Mr. William Brunke, and for vice chair, Lisa Murphy.
thank you. And,
Chair.
and the secretaries will be, who? It's gonna be Joe, we'll do that next month, is that all right, or what?
Are we good with that?
The secretary?
Do we have a does the committee have a recommendation for secretary?
I think it was gonna be David Byrne and Taylor, wasn't it, the last time we
Assistant
talked?
secretary.
Okay,
So it would be Mr. Byrne for secretary and Taylor for assistants, also assistant.
and Joe is going to take, I think he said he would
Second.
take over all the other,
Assistant secretary.
and then also you said you would take over the military, which you've been
Right.
in the military,
Yeah.
that he did, which is MEDAC. Okay,
And
is that all right?
chair nomination.
And the nomination for chair? Would it be Ms. Wood to continue to serve as chair?
For the,
Chair.
oh yeah, that would be, that would.
Thank you. Okay, do we have any other nominations? I guess that's what's the next thing. So what do we do now?
And then we would ask for a motion and a.
Can we have a motion, please? Nope. That's what I love about never.
Have Mr. Standing on the motion.
Mr. Standing, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. Lisa, why don't you move over? No, sorry. Our request, let's see. I want you, Lisa, I'm anxious to have you come and work. We did not have our agenda meeting this week because I was out of town, and my husband's reunion, which was really fun to go to, but anyway. Next is the regular meeting held August 20th.
And Madam Chair, may I be recognized?
Yeah, who does?
Ms. Murphy passed through two corrections to the minutes.
There was a third one.
And a third one.
It applied to 3 of them, so
That's right. So there was.
4, 5, and 12.
That's right, and it was on the way that the votes were counted. Basically, we, in our draft of the minutes, we did not separate the abstentions. We have corrected that, and just wanted to confirm from Ms. Murphy that we caught her edits, and thank you.
So with those changes, I move that we approve the minutes from the August 20th meeting.
Your second?
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Um,
And then we would ask you to open a public hearing.
Okay, so I'm just reading it. Okay, we're having a public hearing on a bond for, I'm sorry, since we didn't have the meeting, it's a little different. Resolution authorizing issuance of authorities, revenue bonds not to exceed $22 million for the benefit of Standard Common Venture. Mr. Stiles.
I think you would ask if there's anyone
Uh,
that wishes to speak.
Well, would you speak and then we ask
Yes.
someone else?
Yes, ma'am. This is the request for approval for $22 million in bonds for 4924 Princess Anne Road. The applicant is the Commons at Princess Anne, which is a group out of California. They're looking to build some senior housing. I believe the housing department has been involved and is supportive of this application. And we have bond counsel. And I would recognize him at this time.
We're prepared to come up and make a brief presentation if that's
Thank
okay,
you.
Alex.
We
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning. Thank you,
Good
ma'am.
morning.
My name is Mike Graff. I'm with McGuire Woods Law Firm, and I'm serving as bond counsel on the transaction. Thank you to Taylor and Alex and the rest of your staff for getting us
Thank
to
you.
the meeting today. We very much appreciate it. I want to introduce to you Tommy Attridge from Standard Companies, who's the developer of the Commons at Princess Anne. And this is a revenue bond financing. We've noticed a public hearing that's required under the Development Authority Act and federal tax law for tax-exempt bonds to be held this morning. And we've presented to you an inducement resolution which would provide your preliminary approval for this revenue bond financing. Affordable housing, affordable apartments are one of the types of projects that are tax advantaged under the federal tax code. They can access federal tax credits and lower interest tax exempt bond financing. And so that's the request that's before you from the folks at the Standard Company this morning. I'm happy to answer any questions about the resolution or about the next steps in the process, which would include the City Council approving your assistance on this revenue bond financing. I think probably the most important thing for a board like yours to keep in mind, and I know Alex and Taylor have told you about this over the years, is these bonds, there's no credit of the city or the Development Authority being extended. You're acting as a conduit or a pass-through to allow these sorts of projects to go forward and receive the tax incentive. So with that, I'll turn it over to Tommy,
Thank
and I
you.
think he has a couple things to tell you about his company and about the Commons at Princess Anne.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. So as Mike said, my name is Tommy Attridge with Standard Communities. We're a national owner and operator of affordable housing primarily throughout the country. I'm based in our Charleston, South Carolina office covering the Southeast. Also have offices in DC, New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago. We own about 8,500 affordable housing units throughout the country, a good chunk of them here in the state of Virginia. This would be our first project as a tax credit and tax exempt bond project in the state of Virginia, which we're very excited about to be here in Virginia Beach. So to get specific, the Commons of Princess Anne is 186 units of senior designated affordable housing, 100% at 60% AMI. And our intent is to preserve this asset as affordable housing for the long term, at least 30 years, by investing over $4 million, $25,000 a unit into the project as a rehabilitation to get it up to today's standards. That's what we do throughout the country. That's what we are looking to do here, and we're excited to be in Virginia Beach. So thank you.
You know this is the greatest city in the world, so we welcome you to move here.
That's what I've heard.
Anyone else like to speak or questions? Andy, do you have a few words to say about it before we vote on?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Attridge had contacted me. This is a very obvious win because it's an existing affordable housing property serving seniors. They're just going to reinvest it and extend the term of which it must be affordable for another 30 years. So I think it's very appropriate to support the project.
We thank you for all you do. Thank you. I think we need to vote on it. Do I hear a motion to close the
I think you can do it yourself.
Okay, I'd like to close the public hearing. Thank you.
That would be a motion to approve, please.
Can I have a motion to approve? Lisa?
Move.
Or Joe, somebody. Second? All in favor?
Mr. Chairman, I'm gonna abstain from the vote.
Okay, or opposed? Okay, sir? Okay,
Wonderful, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank
all.
you, we're welcome. And don't forget to, what's the best city in the world when you're talking to people. Okay, the financial statement, Mr. Murphy.
Make my way over here. We should have on your tablets, we'll be covering the cash inflows and outflows for the Development Authority for the prior month of August. I'll also have the PowerPoint going over not quite as much detail as appears in your packets, but more of the significant items I'll be bringing up during the meeting today. If I can get her going. Perhaps not. You kick me over, Swetla? That's all right, thank you. So for our first slide here, on the first page on your financial packet should be the operating account activity. We'll begin the month with over $4.6 million of operating funding. For cash receipts for this account, you'll see industrial revenue bond fees, over $40,000 being collected. This is total fees from 2 different bond recipients. As we learned from our bond issuance here, there's an outstanding a fee that gets collected based on the outstanding balance of the bonds on an annual basis. That gets used for the authority's operating functions. Under what will be your reimbursements and advances line item, see $250,000 funding we received from the city. This was approved at last month's meeting for the Little League, Green Run, American, and National Little League loans. So the funding's been transferred to the Development Authority, and it's waiting to be dispersed until all the proper legal documents are completed. So we have that funding now, and we set it aside in a restricted cash account until such time as we disperse it. And then last, I'll touch upon your interest income, just over $3,000 being earned on the savings and the CDs the authority maintains. For some of your cash disbursements, for your engineering fees line item, had over $11,000 being expended for work being done at Kimley Horn at Corporate Landing in the month of June. We have a landscaping line item over $26,000. Part of the authority's annual budget is to cover any of the landscaping work that's being done in our corporate parks. We have a one-time transfer we send to the city to the Parks and Rec Department, where their landscape services division takes care of all of the work that needs to be done, trimming, bush hogging, and maintaining the fields out there at Corporate Landing. This is the one-time transfer for the year to cover all of this new fiscal year. We're calling fiscal year 2020 amount transfer here. Skipping down for the commissioner stipend, on a semi-annual basis, we'll process that $50 attendance stipend to the commissioners. I believe some of you will have the check. If I don't have your direct mailing address, should be in front of your tablets here for those amounts. That will come in. This is for the second half of fiscal year 2019, which means this was any attendance from January through June that you receive here. And then finally, the last item I'll touch upon is continuing work at Corporate Landing for the stormwater plan. Since this comes for actual infrastructure from the park, we have a separate line item of funding we use to cover any structural improvements or capital maintenance we have at that park. So at the end of the month, over $4,692,790 in operating funding with the authority. Happy to answer any questions anyone has on the operating account. If not, I'll move to the incentive program. Again, we're covering the month of August. Over $4.8 million of cash on hand with the authority. For receipts, we had a drawdown from the EDIP appropriations that the city holds. So there's $500,000 of cash we moved from the city to the authority to pay for any of the awards and things going out the door. We also had a little bit of interest we incurred on our checking account, over $1,000 coming in. For disbursements, we have what we call our Part D, some engineering fees, over $10,000 being incurred for some city initiatives at the Dome site, historic Kempsville, as well as the Bonnie Road site, London Bridge Commerce Center, and Princess Anne Commons. And also below that, for our bio initiative, we also had engineering fees being incurred for the month of June in the Biopark Phase 1 plan. We use the bio initiative funding to pay for those. So we have ending cash, a little over $5.2 million on hand. And then I'll move to the final page of your financial package to talk about the estimation of available incentive funding moving forward. You see that cash amount carries over. You have all your receivables. We're placing the one line item on the PowerPoint, just under $10 million, the majority of it being EDIP appropriations that the city maintains. For your payables and commitments, we've adjusted those for all the awards and the expenditures that were approved at your August meeting. So I have a little over $11.4 million in commitments. So as of the end of August, we're estimating the available incentive funding for any future projects, $3,849,517. I'd be happy to answer any questions anyone has on the incentive program.
Any questions? Any questions?
If not, thank you very much.
Thank you. I so appreciate the fact that the type is larger now. So, no, not just me.
No, I like it too. It's much better.
Oh, it is easy to read. Okay, it's a briefing on the Rudy Loop update. Mr. Sarger.
Good morning,
Hi.
Madam Chair and Committee. Thank you for having me. My name is Emily Archer. I'm an urban designer with the city's Planning Department Strategic Growth Area Office.
Great.
As you may recall, I was here in February of this year, 2019, to discuss this half-acre site where the former hotel was of Development Authority property. The former hotel was demolished in 2017. I was here to discuss the property and ask for assistance in improving it. Well, those improvements have occurred, and we think it's been a very positive impact on the space, so we wanted to brief you on that. Over the past 7 months, we've been working hard, specifically in-house services. Thanks to your support, so we wanted to make you aware of it. Can I get a show of hands of how many of the members have seen this space in the past month or two?
Month or two.
Excellent. This will be an extra brief. Oh, sorry, next one. Great. So these were the former conditions in February of 2019. They sat like this for about a year. It was an eyesore. The slab, you can see where the hotel used to be. There's been parking around it. It just kind of sat fallow. We're prompting numerous complaints to the city and requests for something to be done. So we came to you, if you go to the next one, with a proposal for some tactical urbanism that is occurring kind of as a trend around the world. High impact, low cost, temporary improvements that generate activity in the short term, hopefully facilitate investment in the long term, whatever that may be, and directly contribute to Council's goal of making this first class destination resort for businesses, tourists, and residents. So this is an example like the plot in Norfolk, and on the top, and then far away is Temporary Park in Norway. Next one. So this is what it looked like. What it looks like today. We've got a lot of green going on in there thanks to Landscape Services and their on-call contractors. There's new public art additions. This actually went in before the improvements last December. And Prismatic Play by Amy Bruce, another mural that occurred by public vote this spring that went in on the outside of the wall in July. And then I think you'll recall we wanted to resurface the slab to make it usable for events, make it a solid surface. We were originally intending to paint some kind of interactive art on it so people could actually interact with the space. But then something in the water happened, and the basketball hoop that was at the oceanfront, something in the water, gained 12,000, almost 12,500 signatures to remain at the oceanfront. And we thought, well, we don't have a full court at the Loop. If there's that much desire to play basketball at the oceanfront, but we could accommodate a half court. So we thought, why don't we paint lines and markings to make it all kinds of court games could be played here. So this is going to be the city's first multi-court with a total of 5 different games, everything from hopscotch to a half-court basketball that could play. There will be signage so you can see what the heck this thing is and what, I'm sorry, could you go back one? That shows like what the different games are so you know. We have made the condos and the hotel nearby aware that this court will happen, and actually one of the hoteliers is actually stocking court games for their guests to go play here if they want, kind of like bring your own kind of equipment. So the next one, it's kind of what it looks like today. The marking will occur probably by mid-October. We have seen some use already. Somebody sent us a photo of somebody playing basketball there already. Then the original estimate was $31,500. I'm happy to report that we've come in 26% under that. On the next one. with about $12,000 that have been expended and about $10,000 remaining to mark the existing court, address the inside of the wall, and get some signage up. But with that, that's the brief I had. If I can answer any comments or questions.
Thank you. You're continuing to make this the best city in the world.
Thank you.
Any questions? Thank you very much. We don't, do we need them? No, okay. Okay, the next is request design review for .1, Oceana East.
Good morning, Madam Chair and
Good
members of the
morning.
board. This morning I'll be presenting to you the design review approval request for .1 USA. The EDIP was presented back in March this year, and we can go past the disclosures. Again, just want to reiterate that the company provides advanced training solutions for military and law enforcement professionals in 4 divisions. Next. Just want to fast forward to the location that they're expanding to is 2809 Crusader Circle. The next slide is just to highlight exactly where it is. Next is the site location. This is the building that has been approved. It has taken some time, but finally got it approved by Kimley Horn, our contract services engineer. This is the front rendering, and also the materials that were submitted that's going to be used for the building. And next slide. This is the rear of the building. And as you can see, it is a really nice looking building. Any questions?
That's not the one that chases cars, right? Or is that the one that we had last year that can, I don't know. No.
No.
With the police?
No, I don't believe
Okay,
so, no.
thank you.
Mm-mm. No. Any questions
questions?
about the materials or the
What?
building or the structure itself?
Okay, I don't want to be part of that. Okay, thank you. Any questions? Do we need a,
So we need a,
Um,
so Madam Chair, may I be recognized?
yes, certainly,
So,
sir.
so authority members, as you all know, within our corporate parks, this body maintains control of the design standard. As Letitia just showed you, that those are the proposed, that is the proposed design for the .1 USA facility. It's been reviewed by our contract engineer, and we would present that it's in conformity to the policy statements you have made there, and we would ask for a formal approval to move forward.
Could we have that, please? A motion, all right?
So moved.
Second? I'm sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, the investment program, EDIP, request approval of resolution authorizing of $15,000 under Part A of the policy for outlaw. Mr. Jackson, thank you for coming.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the authority. Good morning. I'd like to bring back to you again this month. We went in closed session last month and wanted to bring back to you for an EDIP request for outlier. Some of the disclosures, the CEO and founder is Sean Burns. He's formerly the co-founder of Fleury. CTO and co-founder Dr. Mike Kim. The head of product, Anthony Watkins, and Mr. Watkins is with us today.
Morning.
Thank you for coming.
Banking institution, Silicon Valley Bank, and Oric Law Firm is the legal service. The request is an Economic Development Investment Program grant of $15,000 under Part A, award based solely on 7 new jobs created, not based on the 3 jobs that be retained and or the new capital investment. Capital investment for this project new will be $25,000. Again, they will be bringing in 7 new jobs and retaining 3 jobs. Average annual salaries are $105,000. And this is in Convergence, right off of Bonnie Road, 1,200 square feet office that we're located over there. Some of the company history. Silicon Valley venture-backed growth stage company founded in 2015. Employ artificial intelligence and machine learning to discover unexpected changes and patterns in customer data automatically. Outlier's platform takes a differentiated approach to leveraging artificial intelligence to surface unexpected patterns and changes in time series data, which can enable agencies to make informed decisions faster. Outlier has proven a unique ability to provide high-fidelity insight without requiring users to commit significant time and resources to analyze their data. Some of their customers and some of their awards: Pepsi-Cola, Takeaway.com, Zillow. Some of the awards are Strata and Gartner. So again, the request is for approval of a resolution granting $15,000 in EDIP Part A funds to Outlier for new job creation. Any questions?
Madam Chair, may I be recognized?
Yes, of
please?
course.
Thank you, Lloyd. And just one thing to mention to the authority, we're very excited about this, is this continues to demonstrate that we are an emergent destination for high-paying, high-tech jobs. The beach, in particular, is proving to I guess, be a strong destination location for this type of use. We're so happy that this business is growing here and staying in our community. But the important thing is to know IT and cybersecurity are one of the sectors that you all have approved for us to recruit directly, and this demonstrates our continued strength and success both here and in the local economy. So thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
And just to note, Lloyd mentioned it, but the landlord here is Olympia Development, which is Mr. Cutchins. It isn't a conflict. I just wanted to make sure the board was aware.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments? Would you like to tell us a little bit about coming here?
Absolutely.
We're so happy to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to be here, and we're in considering our application. We're very excited to expand our offices from Oakland to Virginia Beach. I actually grew up in Hampton Roads, and I've been a resident of Virginia Beach since 2005. So I've been traveling for the last 10 years to Silicon Valley for business, because I've been in this line of business that long. And I've always really wanted to bring it back here, and the opportunity with Outlier presented itself. We have two people here that work with Flurry and this co-founder, and we told them there's great talent here. I worked with people here before I went out to Silicon Valley, and seeing the talent that we brought to the team and other people in the location that we've introduced them to, they were excited to extend into this space as well, and hopefully offer something unique to the area that brings excitement and a lot of candidates to us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. It's quite a long commute is getting from here to Oakland every day, right?
Yeah, that's
Thank you so much.
There,
Any other comments? Okay, do I hear a motion, please? Second? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you so much. Okay, the priorities, let's see. Does anyone have anything to add this morning? Okay, I'd like to, would you introduce our newest?
I sure would. Isan, if you would.
Already making presentations.
That's right.
Thank you for coming.
That's right. So we're so proud and happy to welcome Isan Moak to our team. Isan has joined us from Norfolk. I can't tell you how many people in the last 3 weeks have come up to me and expressed their great joy for us, but their great displeasure for Norfolk. So so that lets me know we got it right. But Isan, if you like, I'd be happy for you to just tell the authority a little about yourself.
Certainly. My name is Isan Moak. I guess the best way to remember it is like the car Nissan without an N. Spent 14 years at the City of Norfolk as a major projects coordinator. I am an engineer. I also have a management degree. So carrying development projects from start to finish, real estate development project is my passion. I really hope I'm gonna meet the expectation, and I'm so looking forward to working with you all. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Isan comes with experience spanning the entire range of development projects that come in the office on both working on both the development side, but also on the project management side. And so for us, we continue to be with ESON, of course, with the members of the team that are still with us, but also with the members that we've added. I just continue to be so pleased with the way the team is coming back together. And so welcome, ESON. So glad you're here.
We are too. We need you. We're happy to have you. Thank you. All right, and of course, we have a new commissioner that we introduced last month, but would you like to say a little bit about your career, because it's so exciting, like that you are born in Canada and.
Good morning, everyone.
She's
My
very
name is
excited.
Neka Chiazor. My last name is like Chia Pet with a Zor at the end.
I love that.
I'm a proud resident of the city of Virginia Beach. I moved here a couple of months ago. I live very close by. I moved here from Washington, D.C. Just a bit of background on me. I was born in St. John's, Newfoundland, Canada. Yes, I'm a Newfie. And I've grown up in different parts of the world. I'm currently the Regional Vice President for Cox Communications, Public and Government Affairs, and really happy to be here and really happy to have the opportunity to serve Virginia Beach. Thank you.
She was educated in the United States.
Yeah, that's
Harvard.
correct. So I do have an education, sorry.
No, I just said United States. I'm so proud of you because your career's been fantastic. We're happy to have you. What? Yeah. Okay.
Shall I carry on with the rest of
Wait a minute, just look. Anyone else have? Thank you.
All right,
Yes,
Director's
sir.
report.
Yes, please.
I'd like to just jump on the back and say, welcome, NECA. What some of you may or may not know, NECA has been engaged with our office, particularly with our small business programs, for at least a year now, Jeff, and where we certainly appreciated her support working with those programs. So glad to have you with us here at the Authority. Other things, so we welcomed ESON, but also as part of that, I want to extend thanks to the team at Kimley Horn, who over the last few months have really stepped up for us when we've not had a project manager, and carried quite a bit of water for the office internally. Appreciate the support and help that we've received from their team during that time. Also, as their team has been recognizing that I have brought some change with me as it relates to how we have done things, I appreciate their flexibility in responding to sort of the new things that I have asked for as it relates to how we programmatically operate. One thing coming out of that is some wonderful news. Kimley Horn's been working with us over the past 6 months to address site readiness in our community, particularly within the industrial parks that you all control. There was a draft report that showed that our sites were going to be listed as Tier 2. We could not understand why, because again, as you all know, we're proud of Corporate Landing and very proud of the Innovation Park that's just come online. We wanted to understand what was going on there. We worked with the group, found out there were a series of surveys that were not up to date or accurate, and that's the only thing that was keeping us from reaching those tier ratings. The team at Kimley Horn has sort of systematically worked through that list for both parks over the last few months, and I received notification from Heretta at the end of this last week that they anticipate that at Corporate Landing there's a strong chance we're looking at a Tier 5. I think we'll hit Tier 4, but Heretta is telling me that's what we're looking at right now. Innovation Park is going to lag a little bit. The surveys are done, but we got to build the road and the BMP first. But the indication we get from them and the folks that are running this program from the state, as soon as that road is completed, we'll have a Tier 4 rating for the Innovation Park as well, which again, from a site readiness standpoint and a marketability standpoint, gives us an advantage over every other. Really, I would tell you just about everybody else in the Commonwealth, but I don't want to think. We always think regionally, but in this case, I think we can think broader because again, they're an absence of large Tier 4 and higher sites in the Commonwealth. So we're very excited to be approaching that point with our real estate. One thing to mention about the Innovation Park: broke ground on the road last week. Finally got the notice to proceed. If you're driving down Princess Anne, you'll see equipment on the side of the road. We think it's going to take, David, about about 9 months to build the road and get the BMP that we're going to build to drain 58 acres of the park. Just know that we can't wait to invite all of you to a ribbon cutting there to open our newest corporate park. Just over 150 acres of new Tier 4 industrial property here in Virginia Beach. So very excited about how that's coming together. There is our audit has been underway. I'd like to, where is Sean? Want to commend Sean for his work on the Development Authority's audit. As you all know, that's due for September 30. That audit is tracking. They've completed their work. I have had the management meeting with them. They're putting together their final thoughts, and we'll have a document to show to you and subsequently to council in the very near future. But again, the important thing to know is your audit is on schedule to be submitted on time before September 30th. So just wanted to check that box while we were here, and also commend Sean for the hard work that he has put into being responsive to the auditor's request and making sure that we were transparent in that space. The last thing, there was we had a ribbon cutting last week at the new Dollar Bank location on Great Neck. Charlie attended that one. There's Charlie. Charlie, you want to say a quick word about what you did there?
Yeah. First of all, Vice Mayor Wood was there in attendance representing the city as well. It's a unique concept.
Go ahead, sir.
I'm sorry. But
it's a unique concept in that when you walk into the bank, there's no teller counter. So it's interesting the way they manage their process. But you'll notice that the bank is popping up all over Hampton Roads, a number in Virginia Beach, and it has a long history based in Pittsburgh, starting in the 1860s, I believe. So we're welcoming them to the community.
how do you bank if there's no teller?
Well, they've got a giant teller machine that looks like a huge computer, and there are people there to assist you.
That's wonderful. That's new.
And
Different way of doing business.
And then the last thing, we continue to be grateful for Steele's continued investment in our community.
Yeah.
They have a new administration building that is finishing up, which is approaching a $30 million investment in additional investment in our community, and we are so grateful to their continued presence here, and so thankful that facility is coming online.
Well, when we talked about steel, I was at the grocery store this past week, and I talked to a lady out there, and she had steel on her pink hat, and she had wonderful things to say about you, and she's in quality control, and she was saying how happy she is to be with steel, and how wonderful you are.
Thank you.
Made me very happy. Thank you. We know that. Okay, is that it?
That's all I got.
Anyone else have anything? What? I have it right here, don't I? Oh, is that it?
Oh, yeah.
We'll be going into closed session. Thank you all for coming, everyone that's a visitor, and we welcome you to come back anytime. Thank you.
They can stay for the read it.
I'd like to have a motion, please. Closed session. To go, she's not here. I know, but she's not here.
That's okay. We got to read it.
Okay.
You keep the cameras on.
Keep the cameras
on,
But you would keep the cameras running until we get
Through the motion.
And the police wants to
Got it.
come in. The
Julie,
policeman
I
wants to
didn't
come
see
in.
it.
I know, but tell him, because that's what he asked last month. Okay. Okay, motion, please. Discussion concerning a prospective business, we get the motion first, right? Okay. Discussion concerning a prospective business or industry or the expansion of an existing business or industry where no previous announcement has been made of the business or industry's interest in locating or expanding its facilities in the community pursuant to Virginia Code 2.2-3711A5 Beach. A discussion or consideration of the acquisition of real property for public purpose or of the disposition of publicly held real estate property, where discussion in open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body pursuant to Virginia Code 2.2-3711A3 corporate landing. Contracts. Discussion of the award of a public contract involving the expenditure of public funds, including interviews of bidders and offerers, and discussion of the terms and scope of such contract where the discussion in an open session would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body pursuant to Virginia Code 2.2-3711A30. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second. Oh, no one's here to call
I
it.
got it. Who was the second? I got it. Okay. Mr. Burns absent. Mr. Brunke?
Yes.
Ms. Chiazzer?
Yeah.
Mr. Franklin?
Yes.
Ms. Morgan's absent. Mr. Mueller?
Yes.
Ms. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Standing? Mr. Strange?
Yeah.
Ms. Wood?
Yes.
Thank you. It is unanimous.
Okay, the first one is what? Fox. Okay, that's fine. We just wanted to be comfortable.
Okay.
Okay.
And now we can
Mm,
check.
Fox.
Let's wait 1 second.
I haven't said anything.